Hi, first graders, and welcome back to Author Study. And today we're going to read another Lisa Campbell Ernst story, and this is a really good one too. It's called Goldilocks Returns. So we all know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, but in this story, Goldilocks is a little bit older, and she returns and she goes back to the bear's house. So it's kind of a funny one. It's a little bit long, so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I hope you like it. Goldilocks Returns, written and illustrated by Lisa Campbell Ernst. So she did both the words and she drew the picture. So here we go. Goldilocks Returns. Kind of interesting. We can see that she's got like a hammer and a wrench here. She's got a lot of plans, a lot of different books and things. So I wonder what she's doing. We'll have to find out. Goldilocks Returns. As a child, she was known as Goldilocks, and she was very naughty indeed. Her favorite hobby was snooping in houses where no one was home, until, of course, that dreadful trouble with the bears. Then Goldilocks grew up, and the older she got, the worse she felt about her horrid behavior. She shortened her name and pinned up her curls so no one could recognize her. Goldie opened a shop to help people protect themselves against Snoop. But no matter how she tried to leave her life of crime behind, it haunted her day and night. Goldie had nightmares about bears. She cried at the mere sight of a teddy bear. Her customers even began to look like bears. I can't take it any longer, she sobbed at night. She sobbed at last. It's time to set things right. Early one morning, Goldie loaded up her truck, turned her shop sign to close, and zoomed off toward the deep, dark woods. So we could see her name was Goldilocks, meaning like locks of curly blonde hair. Golden meaning blonde, and locks meaning curls. And then when she grew up, she opened a shop, and the shop's called Goldie's Lock and Keys. So she kind of changed her name she was helping people to put locks on their house. So she kind of did a play on words there. And you can see here it says keys made while you wait. In her whole shop, and her job was to make locks and keys to keep people out of their house, or strangers out of people's house. But now she's going crazy. It looks like she's got to set some things right. So let's see what happens. Goldie's Lock and Key. Here's her truck down here. I like it. Let's see what she does. Ooh. There's our bear friends. At that very moment, the three bears, whom she had scared out of their wits years before, were sitting down for breakfast. There were Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and their son, who, though not a baby anymore, for some 50 years now, still went by the name of Baby Bear. Due to the fright brought on by Goldilocks, he still had a wee little voice. Their breakfast was the usual porridge, and as it had been every day since any of them could remember, it was much too hot to eat. Grab your hats, Papa Bear sighed, and the three unsuspecting bears left for their daily walk. So there's Mama Bear. So baby Bear grew up, but he's still living at home. Ooh, so they left, and who's going to come? You know it, Goldilocks. No sooner had the three bears left than Goldie screeched to a stop in front of their cozy cottage. It hasn't changed a bit, she gasped. Strapping her tool belt on, Goldie walked to the door and knocked. A smile crept across her face when she realized the bears, again, were not at home. Goldie walked right in. I'll fix that, she said, chuckling. With a drill in one hand and a screwdriver in the other, Goldie swung into action. Moments later, the bear's door was laden with the finest in locking hardware, a padlock, a double bolt, and a secret anti-snoop lock she used in only the most serious cases. Won't they be delighted? She cooed. You can see here she's working on their door. She added lots of locks because she felt bad when she broke in. So now she added all these locks so no one can get in. But she's in, and I'm wondering why she has all of this stuff over here. What do you think all this stuff is for? Let's read and find out. Ooh, this is tart and tasty celery juice. Ugh. Next, Goldie headed to the kitchen. There sat the 3 bowls of, you know it, porridge. Ish, she said. It's the same goop as before. Goldie emptied the bowls into the sink. They won't have to eat this nasty tasting stuff anymore. And she set out her special fat-free rutabaga breakfast bars and cans of tart and tasty celery juice. Ooh. Goldie stocked the cabinets with enough breakfast bars and celery juice to last 4 months. Oh, that must have been what was in all those bags, right? While she was at it, she threw away any food she thought was unhealthy or didn't like herself. Now, to spruce up the place a little, Goldie announced, pulled out 3 bolts of pom-pom fringe and her staple gun. The results were stunning. She brought all these like cute little pom-poms to hang on their house. So let's see what that looks like. Oh my gosh. Feeling better already, Goldie burst into the living room. God, she cried when she saw the baby bear had made from pieces of a broken chair. So we took the broken chair that she broke years before and made a little rocking chair. Nothing a little hot glue gun can't fix. She whipped out her hot glue gun, and in no time a rocking chair was a chair again. Good as new, Goldie said. No better. Now, to fix those old nasty chairs. Even after all these years, Goldie still judged Mama Bear's chair too soft, Papa Bear's too hard, and the stuffing was quickly moved from one chair to the other. Goldie hung hoity-toity drapes, scattered pillows, and covered their furniture with shiny plastic. Perfect at last, she declared. So she fixed up their living room. They're doing a lot of work in their house. Do you think they're going to like it? I don't know. We'll have to see. Goldie raced upstairs to the 3 bears' bedroom. Good gosh, she said, testing the bed of Papa Bear and Mama Bear. Just as I remembered. Too hard, too soft, and before you could say Rip Van Winkle, she had adjusted the stuffing to her finicky liking. Goldie sprayed vanishing roses perfume in the air and tied bouquets of plastic flowers around the room for a back-to-nature look. It's glorious, Goldie sang, falling back on Baby Bear's bed to admire the room. The bears will be so grateful. Suddenly, Goldie was exhausted. And once again, Baby Bear's bed was just right. Before she knew it, Goldie had drifted off to her most peaceful sleep in 50 years. She's back asleep in that same bed she was before. I can't believe it. I think they're going to come home again. We'll see what happens. Uh-oh, there they are. There they are. Looking at the bed. Just a little bit. The bears, meanwhile, were finally returning home from their walk. Seeing the truck, they began to worry. They hadn't had so much luck with visitors in the past. What on? Papa Bear said, noticing the locks on the door. Then he heard Baby Bear squealing in the kitchen. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Oh my heavens! He cried in his wee little voice. Look! Uh-oh. Look at their house. It's all decorated like crazy. With jaws dropping and eyes popping, the 2 older bears did just that. Papa snarled at the side of the table and bellowed in his big, deep voice, "Someone's taken my porridge." Mama Bear nodded. "Someone's taken my porridge, Aunt," she said in her medium voice, and Baby Bear, discovering the mess in the sink, cried his wee little voice, "Someone's taken my porridge, and they've thrown it all away." Memory told the bears to race to the living room. Oh man, they're in the living room. They don't look happy at all. I think Goldie was trying to make them happy, but I don't know if it worked. It was a shocking sight. Papa Bear's knees buckled as he fell into his now poofy chair. Someone, he growled, has been fooling with my chair. Mama Bear tried hers and gasped, oh, hard as a rock. Someone's been fooling with my chair. Ah, Baby Bear screeched, stomping up and down. Someone's been fooling with my chair and they've put it back together. All three bears ran helter-skelter upstairs. Oh man, did they find her? Sure they did. I wonder what she's going to do with this time. Last time she ran away. I don't know, let's find out. Pig, you! Baby Bear gagged. What's that smell? Ravishing roses, Mama Bear read, picking up the empty bottle from the floor. The two older bears did not even check their beds because they knew right where to look. What they saw made their fur stand on end. Baby Bear began to tremble. She's back! She's back! He wailed, hoping it was just a nightmare. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's here again! And at that moment, Goldie's eyes popped open. There she is, staring at him. You're home! Goldie shouted, crushing each bear with a hug and kissing their furry cheeks. The shocked bears opened their mouths in protest, and Goldie raced on. Now, don't thank me. I know you're terribly grateful. After all, I was the one who caused the trouble to begin with. Of course, I've more than made up for that. Goldie gleefully danced to the house, pointing out each of her deeds. Naturally, I fixed the silly little chair, she said, and I got rid of your nasty porridge. The rutabaga breakfast bars are fat-free, so you might even be able to lose a little weight there. She chuckled, tapping Papa Bear on the stomach. You're so surprised. She's so happy to help them. A growl began to grow in Papa Bear's throat, but before he could get it out, Goldie tossed the keys to her fancy locks, hugged them all again, climbed to her truck, and she was off. Wait, come back, yelled the bears. But it was no good. As her truck rounded the curve of the road, the bears saw a flash of gold, smiling, unpinning her curls, and shook them out in the breeze. The dazzled bears slowly turned back to their cottage. They moved awkwardly from their fancy schmancy house. They couldn't eat, they couldn't get comfortable in their chairs. So finally, they went to bed. No one slept a wink. Look at, they can't go to sleep because their beds are not very comfortable. Sorry about that glare. Let me fix it. They can't sleep. Their beds aren't comfy anymore. That's too funny. The next morning, the three exhausted bears sat at the kitchen table, miserably staring at their rutabaga breakfast bars and celery juice. Maybe we should go for a walk, Mama Bear suggested, and they all ran to get their hats. The three bears set off through the woods, relieved to be out of their house. But just then, Baby Bear spied something through the tree. It was a very mischievous-looking little girl, skipping along the path that led straight to their cottage. Oh no, Baby Bear panicked. Not this again. We didn't lock the doors. Quick, stop her. She might eat our food. She might mess up our fancy things. She might break our chairs. Maybe they want that. There she is. Can you see her down here? The bears began to run after the girl, but then they suddenly stopped. Eat the food, asked Mama Bear. Mess up the fancy things, asked Papa Bear. Break my chair, repeated Baby Bear. Very slowly, they all smiled. And then, turning around, the bears happily continued on their walk. And there's the Goldilocks happy that she fixed everything in the bear's house and swinging from the chandelier. She was happy she fixed everything in their house, but do you think they were happy? I don't think so. So now you can talk to your family or think about what you think the new little Goldilocks did to the bear's house. I hope you enjoyed this story and think it was a fun way to see what happens after Goldilocks had gone to the bear's house. And enjoy your day. Bye.